Hello and welcome. This is Gigi and this will be a weekly tarot reading for my Aquariuses for the week starting October 28th till November 2nd, 2019. Hi my Aquarius, how are you? I want you to know that before recording each video, I always meditate and ask Spirit for guidance. Now, if you'd like to book me for a private reading, the information below the video. Please subscribe to my channel. I would be very appreciative. Like and share my videos. And also, if this resonates with you, leave me a comment. Let me know how it resonates with you. If it doesn't, leave it all behind. And now let's start this week reading for my Aquarius. Strength. Prince of Swords in a reverse. Death in a reverse. Three of Swords. The High Priestess. And Nine of Swords. Okay, so my Aquariuses are holding on strongly. There is some challenges that you have been facing that you've been facing. It could be in terms of your health, okay? And I'm just not talking about like physical health, although it could be. And for those that are going through some illnesses or some surgery, sending you positive healing energy, okay? It could be also mental health, okay? With the Three of Swords here, I feel like there's mental health. You're stuck, Aquarius. There's like this deep loss that you're dealing with in your personal relationship, okay? It could be that, my Aquarius, don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Because your Aquariuses could be very hard, especially in terms of if you're noticing there's something you have missed, or you're not happy with your behavior, you're not happy with how you were expressing yourself, you might have some regrets about some communication that you had in the past, okay? But you have to shake that off, Aquarius, okay? You are going through a battle right now, and the battle is in your 12th house with Saturn, your co-ruler, in the 12th house. It's a very difficult place to be because Saturn in your 12th house makes you feel alone. There's that deep sense of loneliness, okay? It could be because you have lost someone that you love, and if you have been going through grief, I want you to know that it takes time, and day by day, you will feel better, day by day. But ultimately, the most important thing where I want to have your attention is to understand this idea of life, right? This life, what is life? How does it make you feel? How do you know how to cope? How to deal? How it is? How is it when it's in your heart and you have to deal with that, right? And doesn't mean that something is happening in your life. It could be that you're just really sad about what's going on in the world, because Aquarius are like that. They're concerned for everybody. You could have that really huge emptiness inside dealing with outside, with life, how life is today, okay? It could make you very sad. But if that's the case, what I recommend is that you do step away from everything that has to do with, what makes you feel this way. Stop watching the news, the news that you're watching that you shouldn't be watching. Stop reading the things that make you feel sad and depressed, although it's information, you need information, you love it, but stop doing it. Because you have to understand your own behavior. This is what this transit is about. With the Strength card and the Three of Swords, is understand how you cope, how you feel yourself with love. Are you feeling yourself with love? Or are you just protecting yourself, saving yourself, keeping yourself? But what about the love? Do you express love? Are you expressing it? With the Three of Swords, the Strength card here is a major arcana. It's a very, very important card here because you have three major arcana. But it's sitting next to the Prince of Swords in the reverse. So to me, when I have the Prince of Swords in the reverse, it's kind of a little immature, first of all. It's very immature, but there is also a need for forgiveness. Page of Swords is when things necessarily, when we don't like what we hear, things are not going in our favor, or it doesn't mean in our personal life, we don't get the result that we want, we're not happy with the results, there's things that are affecting us, it's in a reversal. So you're not communicating this in the right way, or you're not receiving communication that is like positive right now, okay? But I do feel that you are literally doing this to yourself in some type of way, because it's the 12th house is what we don't see, right? Maybe, it's a part of your job to listen to this or to do that, but you have to really manage your time, or you have to train your mind to be able to dissipate. This is what I want to take with me, and this is what I'm leaving behind. So you have to find boundaries, because the 12th house is the house of boundaries, right? It's a 12 house. We don't have boundaries, right? For those that know some Pisces are people sometimes they don't really have any boundaries, right? Good or bad, they tell everything everybody, or they're just all over the place, or they just, there's this energy of lost because we do not see our own detrimental behavior, okay? And with the Prince of Swords in the reverse, I feel that you have seen something that you don't like about yourself. You've seen it. You've seen it many times this year. People have told you, Prince of Swords in reverse, many times that you don't like to hear. The stuff we don't like to hear. They could have said, well, listen, I noticed this and that, your behavior. People came out, they backed themselves up. The High Priestess is here. They saw things within you, okay? You allow things to happen, would make them judge you a certain way. It could be vice versa. Maybe it's for my cross watcher too. Maybe you're dealing with Aquarius and you show your Aquarius some type of immaturity, or some level of lack, okay, that made them judge you, okay? Nobody likes to be judged. I don't like to be judged either, right? Okay, but it comes naturally to us. We're critical of each other. We're critical of other people, okay? So the High Priestess is just that, could say that, maybe you do have a way of influencing others, and most of my Aquarius people do. And maybe you have noticed that in your communication, there's some work that has to be done, or, where some people might have been hurt by your words or your comments. It's not like a heavy energy, like it's been there all your life. It could be just something that came up the last few weeks, the last few months, the last few years, whatever the case, right? The High Priestess is to let you know that you have the strength, and the strength is there, not to beat yourself up, my Aquariuses, because of a defeating behavior that you really have to really work hard, that has been oblivious to you, or that you have heard some complaint, you just didn't understand, you can put two and two together, for you did not make any sense, you didn't pay attention to it. But now you have to reflect on it, and because the Nine of Swords is here, right? It's the Gemini card. It's spending a lot of time reflecting, right, on our behavior, being analytical, okay? So you're going to be thinking about a way of transforming yourself. The Death card is in a reverse though here, okay, with the Nine of Swords. So that tells me that you know what has to change about the way you communicate, or what someone else has to change in how they communicate with you in order to build this relationship, partnership, okay? I do feel that has to do with your career. Maybe it's at work, right? Maybe there's some people at work where you're noticing that, you could have such a better, maybe um, a better results working with other people, right? But that would mean that you would be obliged to, to really transform yourself, because in the past, or, you know, um, you heard or someone might have said that, you know, I noticed someone that you care about, right? The high priestess is here, someone who has wisdom and knowledge. Someone who could have came and said, well, you know, I noticed that sometimes, because she's between the Nine of Swords and Three of Swords, so she doesn't want to hurt you. If someone is saying something to you, or in this reading, I hope you feel this way. You know, if someone tell you, well, listen, you know, I noticed this and that, and it's detrimental behavior. You have something, there's something about your temper, your personality, the way you express yourself, or maybe the lack of expression, right? Doesn't mean that it's bad, you know, but the lack of this, because the Princess of Swords is a lack, right? You know, he's coming from a place of lack and an immaturity, like he doesn't know any better, right? That's why we forgive. When we see the prince, any prince or princess, is a card of forgiveness, right? So by forgiving others, you forgive yourself. And I do feel that you have to forgive yourself, my Aquarius. Don't be too hard, but then there is work, there's a lot of work to be done here, which will actually help you be in a place where you don't have to, you know, to be anxious of not being able to have the right impact on people, or to be anxious of people telling you the things that you don't want to hear. Because like I said, it's not just my cross watchers. I feel that sometimes, especially nowadays with that Saturn in the 12th house, a lot of people are pointing at the fingers at Aquarius this and Aquarius that and Aquarius this and Aquarius that. But you know, I know that, you know, things did not turn out the way you wanted on a certain, in terms of partnerships, in certain partnership. You did not, it just did not turn out. It's just not about what did you do or what someone else did. It just did not turn out the way you did. And the reason why I'm not putting emphasis into that too much is because everybody, all the signs this year, all of them, even those that are getting married and having kids, there's something that did not turn out the way they wanted, because there was a time of growth in their life. And now the growth is about how you see yourself. Are you able to have this critical way of looking at other people the same way you could do in yourself and you do to yourself? You don't have to be critical. I'm not saying that you are critical, but I see with the Nine of Swords that you've been spending a lot of time reflecting on your past behavior, reflecting on your past communication, even reflecting on the things that you have said. With the Death card, to see the impact, the influence, how it affected other people. It's in reverse, okay? I'm going to go ahead and just look at this reading to wrap it up with the past, current, and challenge energy for this week. For you, my Aquariuses, I'm going to use a different deck, and you'll see the information below the video. In the meantime, please subscribe to my channel. I would be very grateful. Like and share my video as well. For those that have been following me, I'm so glad you're still with me. Grateful for that. Loving you, all of you. And now let's look at the past energy. We have the Eight of Cups. Okay. So you're leaving something behind. Okay. You want a new beginning. You're going towards a new journey. Okay. With all the past, because what you're gonna do, right? You either win or you learn. And now you have learned. The Eight of Cups is seeing you standing still, standing up, looking for your new beginning. You know, you might be still very emotional, right? Maybe you're not really happy with yourself right now. But don't be too hard on yourself. Work on yourself, right? And, you know, remember, by forgiving others, you forgive yourself. So forgive the other people as well, okay? So you could forgive the way that you were with them. Forgive them. Forgive them. That's the most important thing, okay? And let's clarify here with the current energy. Current energy is the Five of Cups. You have to let go. Don't be too, I feel that some of my Aquarius right now, it's a very emotional time. Maybe it was the moon, the moon that we have. I think it was a full moon in Scorpio. And for some reason, you're thinking about the past. You're going way, way, way back. You're going back to your childhood, your parents, maybe something that has to do with your family, your mother, something you didn't receive. Because those are two cups. It's all about cups, something that you didn't receive. Maybe there's some lack of love, lack of affection from family, or maybe you feel you haven't given enough love and affection to your family. But that's the point where I have to say, listen, it's just you're so hard on yourself, you forget that everybody make mistakes. All of us, we do. And we learn to live with it because we have this lesson in life that is just, how we grow and become better and better every day is by doing an effort, is by being honest with ourselves. With the Five of Cups in the reverse here, I just feel that you're still very hurt by it. I think that it's going to surprise my cross watchers, but let me tell you something about my Aquarius. Aquarius are very naive, okay? They spend a lot of time focusing in something and obsessing about something and having knowledge about something that it closed their mind into something to just focus into something so obsessively that sometimes they lose the big picture. They take a step back and they're like, wow, I just did not know. And they really did not know. They are really clueless about a few things because, like I said, sometimes, they really do look at things sometimes in such a way with such an obsession and critical view. And not to be critical of the thing is because they want to understand it, and to understand they need to look at it and read on it and judge it, and so all of that. And then sometimes they forget about life. Okay, so forgive yourself, my Aquarius. This week you're gonna have some time, okay, to do that. I do feel that it's best if you could, really communicate with the people that are more spiritual right now, so you could open yourself and say, well, listen, I noticed this year, I don't know what happened, I argued with everybody and I didn't want to, but then someone told me, like, that you could really, without judgment, right? Like you could just really just open yourself to someone without judgment, someone who's not judgmental, okay? And say, I want to do this, but this is hard for me to forgive myself. I said this to that person. I feel really, it's not really, sometimes we cannot really go back every time and take up the phone and say, well, I'm sorry, this. Sometimes we can't. We have to really learn, Eight of Cups, to really move on. Even, if we leave people behind, and, past relationships that we cannot really address and make right before we just go into some other things, and we have to leave them the way they are. We have to, and all of us do that, my Aquarius, all of us. And I know Aquarius have a big network. They represent network of friends, group circle, but at sometimes, most of the time, they're very lonely because they're just not really spending enough time knowing themselves. Because it's always about an idea, a possibility, a genius somewhere. But then sometimes they spend time alone because they don't have enough time to 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 really get to know who they are themselves, so other people could really get to know them, right, for who they are. So it's a never-ending cycle, or I should say it's a never-ending circle. And that, my Aquarius, you have to really work on that. The cycle is almost over. The 12 house cycle is going to be very difficult. When Saturn's going to be in your house, you're lucky. You're not going to go through the Saturn return like Capricorn, where it really is, it really, really did something to them. But there's something about your emotion here to 12 house that you can't really look away. You have to look into it, okay? Let's see what is challenging you, my Capricorn, this week. Ten of Cups. You're thinking about your family, and your friends are your family. You're thinking about your family. It's at all cups. You're gonna have a very sensitive, emotional week, my Aquariuses. But you know what? It's going to give you a good purge because it's Scorpio season. It's time to purge. And if you feel like you need to cry or you need to write things down, write them down. But what I don't want you this week is for you to feel any guilt or for you to have a resentment or for you to think about the past, should have, could have. Like Eight of Cups, you need to move on. You need to for your sanity, right? Now you know you're going to try to do better. You must try to do better. And you will. Five of Cups in the reverse is still really hard for you to let go. Know that there's more supporters than others, but the others will be there. The others that may not understand you, may not comprehend you, may not respect you, right? And it doesn't matter, but what matters here is that you find the right balance into who you are exactly, my Aquarius. About you, self-care, self-love, self-forgiveness is really what is coming for you this week. And I really trust that you'll be coming out of it like a star, okay? Because that truly is who you are. And I love Karen Campbell. I don't know if you guys know her. Look for her. She's an amazing astrologer, but she's always says that to be a star, you need to be able to walk in the dark and not to be afraid of the dark, because that is where the lights shine bright, right? So the stars need that. You need to go through those moments of darkness for you to shine your genius after that, for you to come out of it transformed. I'm going to end this reading here for you, my Aquarius. Let me know how this resonated with you. Until next time, send you lots of kisses. I love you.